there's two announcements I would like to share with you. I want to talk about the Education Freedom Act and get you up to date on that. As when we had our last meeting, you know, I told you we were in the process of getting that done, and we needed to make a decision, so we did write the letter of acceptance. Well, what happened is that bill left the House, which we knew about, went to the Senate. When it got in the Senate, they wanted some language changed on it. So what happened is it had to go back to the House. Then it worked its way through the Senate again with the edited edition. I spoke to Mayor Brady about this at the last commissioners meeting to see just how it was progressing and everything, and we knew it was going through. Several days later, he called me again and told me the bill was moving. And again, he told me of the requirements about the 21 days and everything. We had to get it done. And he wanted to know how I thought we could get that done. And I told him, I said, I believe we've already taken care of it at the last board meeting. And he was very happy that had been done. In the meantime, Dr. Durley and I bothered him most days wanting to know if he had heard anything, and we had. Finally, the bill passed and went to the governor's desk. The governor signed it, no joke, April Fool's Day. Apparently, when he was in Grundy County and met with the mayor that you saw, apparently he went back to Nashville that afternoon and signed it, because I received notification on Thursday. The mayor called me again saying that the bill had passed. Dr. Durley, and of course that was our week of spring break, so we could not really start doing anything. Dr. Durley and I talked after spring break, and by the way, there have been requests for letters, there's been requests for board minutes, there's been requests for board resolutions, there's been requests for list of teachers. I know at least those 4 items, and it's happened multiple times that they have requested this. So anyway, we have complied. On April the 7th, when Dr. Durley and I met, he had already received a phone call from Senator Bowling. At that time, she suggested we expedite this, that if necessary, we felt like it was necessary to hand deliver it to Nashville. So we even talked about that. The Commissioner of Education had to have a copy. The Governor's Office had to have a copy. Senator Bowling wanted the copies and everything. Our letter of acceptance was sent in. The list of teachers was sent in. The copy of the minutes was sent in. The copy of the resolution and all the letters thanking these people for what they have done. That all went in. Email came from Marianne Drorsky. It came April the 10th, last Friday night. Thank you for sending the documentation. That's just what we need to move forward with paying the bonus to your teachers. Next week, we will be in touch with you regarding verifying teachers who are eligible to receive the bonus based on employment in your district in the 24-25 school year. We plan to send these funds prior to the end of the fiscal year and hopefully before the end of the school year. So, the Governor signed it. 10 months it has taken to get this done, but it's done. I figured out myself, because I've had grandchildren that have called and wanted Nana to do stuff, and I said, I can't do that, I've got other things to do. I know that I have spent over 30 hours taking care of this, and those of you that called, those of you that text, those of you that sent words of encouragement to tell me to plow ahead, and Dr. Durley, thank you so much. That is very much appreciated. I would ask you as board members, I've already done this. As I told you, the person that called me the day after we voted and said, call Senator Bowling. gave me the number. I did, and this is what started it. She started it. I've already called that person that called me and told me what to do and how to do it. And I wanted to say thank you to them. That person requests still to remain anonymous, but I think there are several people out there that we as a board can write some thank you notes to. If you need Senator Bowling's address or some of these other people that you feel have been instrumental, please do that. If nothing else, a phone call, a text message, an email I just think is appropriate. I ask Dr. Barnett, you're talking about $316,004.20 coming to Grundy County. Well, I didn't say that to you.
But we want to still tell you thank you.
Well, that has been my goal for this year. It's over with now. As soon as we get the money here and it gets out. All right, that's the first piece of good news that I have. Second piece, this was as I was coming in, the hair salon. So I read this text message and I'll read it to you. Came in at 4:33 from Scott Bennett. Late Friday afternoon, I received a proposed property agreement from the Coleman attorney. I suggested some edits. I just got a return email from him this afternoon containing those edits, and I believe everything is in order. Before I send it to the board, however, I want to be sure that he has referenced the correct property. No sense in selling the wrong piece of land. If you would kindly update the rest of the board about this, I would appreciate it. I know some people are anxious to transfer this to the town. So how soon this will be worked out, I do not know, but it's something that happened today. Mr. Meeks, did you know that? Were you expecting me to read this tonight? No. Okay. Didn't tell the truth, I apologize. One more thing, did any of you get to look at the TSBA website that we did? Well, there is going to be another one. The second day of TSBA camp is this Thursday, beginning at 11 o'clock, and the other one lasted 45 minutes. This one is entitled AI in the Workplace. And if you would like to join that, and what they will do if you're working and can't get there, can't see it live, it is available to you after hours and everything, so you can participate in that. That's all I have. Thank you for bearing with me. Now let's get into the agenda for the night. We'll look at the consent agenda. Was the board minutes. Has anybody got any questions about the board minutes? Any corrections? The April recognitions will be the April birthdays only tonight.
Actually, it will be the March birthdays. It's,
I
jumped the gun last night.
All right.
Ms. Russ, also on that, can we recognize the FBLA winners at the state? There were several that we had that, I think didn't one qualify for the nationals for the FBLA? Does somebody know? I've got it in my phone, I think somewhere. But anyway, we had several places.
We probably need to ask them to come so we can recognize them in person, but we certainly can read their names tonight. All right, you can copy that down.
Just now that it's on the Grundy County High School Facebook page, I have it.
You have it because I don't have the
Okay, read me
service. I
some
just
names.
thought I'd
Dr.
double
Shawn.
check.
It says, the State FBLA Leadership Conference in Chattanooga held April 7th through 9th witnessed the exceptional performance of GCHS Future Business Leaders of America members across various competitions. Trinity Lemons secured a fourth place finish in agribusiness, earning a spot at nationals. Rain Adams, Taylor Jones, and Bella Lane each achieved seventh place in advertising, personal finance, and public speaking, respectively. Haley Childers, Mackenzie Meeks, and Connor Pons finished within the top 10 in impromptu speaking, journalism, and economics. Grundy County FBLA is sponsored by Ms. Cissy Foster and Mr. Sean Lewis.
Thank you. We'll ask you to read that at the regular meeting in just a
So
few
we had 7
Yes.
that qualified, that made in the top 10. That's pretty
Wonderful.
awesome.
Awesome. Wonderful.
My daughter and I have your administration.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, let's go down to the approved agenda, please. Policy 6.210, the registered sex offenders. Dr. Durley, would you like to go there?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chairman. After TSBA reviewed the policy that we had discussed with our attorney, they recommended changing 500 feet of school property to 1,000 feet to coincide with state law.
If you will look at that policy, ladies and gentlemen, I think 4 times under school off limits, the third line, instead of 500 feet, it needs to be 1,000 feet. Then at the end of the next line, it needs to be 1,000 feet. Then at the next paragraph, the third line needs to be 1,000 feet. And then the next paragraph, the second line needs to be 1,000 feet. Is that correct, Dr. Gerd?
That's correct.
All right, we had looked at this last month, and of course adopted, but again, TSBA reviewed it, and these were the suggestions that they made for us. So, do you have any questions, board members?
My property only has 2 places.
Right there.
Okay, I see that.
And right there. Do we have any discussion? Does that need to be moved to the consent agenda?
Yes.
The A will become C up there. Next is item B, the 27-28 school calendar. Dr. Dirk, would you speak to that?
Madam Chairman, you've got the listed differences between the two calendar options for employees of the district. This was put out to vote, and an overwhelming majority chose calendar A for the 27-28 school calendar. And we've got a list of differences on the opening page for you to review.
So if you will look, if you haven't had time to look at your agenda yet, you'll notice that calendar A, calendar B, both of those are in our packet. And the teachers voted for calendar A, so we will have to leave it on the agenda because we will have to vote whether or not to accept their recommendation. So B becomes A on the approved agenda. Do you have any questions? I noticed the starting day of school on calendar A. Did you all notice that? July the 30th. And the first day of school, let's see, is it the 3rd? No, 5th. The 5th of August. The first full day is the 6th. Any comments, any thoughts? All right, we will, as I say, leave this item up. The next item on the agenda is the STEM Lab project building at Tracy City Elementary.
Madam Chairman, I'll let Ms. Thomas speak to that, since she's federal coordinator, supervisor.
When the ISM grant was written, gosh, 3 years ago, it's a 3-year grant, this is the last year of it, the amount of money we were given was allocated to the different schools in the district based on their population. Part of what was written into that grant was for the library that is at TCE to be turned into a STEM lab, very similar to the one that we have here at the high school. And so in fulfilling that grant and making sure that we spend all of our money, because we don't want to get money back when this year is over, we want to make sure we're utilizing all of our funds the best we can for our students. We put this project out to bid. It consists of changing the lighting over to LED lighting, adding additional outlets because they've already purchased a lot of really nice equipment that the building's just not equipped for with the outlets, so adding that, new flooring, painting, things of that nature. All of this is funded within the ISM grant.
So no expense to the county at all, that's the grant acceptance.
The bid came in at $51,000, which was lower than we had budgeted, so we were actually able to move some money around to purchase other needed things.
So we only had one bidder.
Yes, we did. We hosted walkthroughs for that, and that's all I have.
Any other questions? That will stay as B on the approved agenda since we have money involved. D is the volleyball camp field trip request. It is July the 12th through the 15th. And where did I read it was? Western Kentucky University. Mr. Sean Lewis and Ms. Rachel Hale and Ashton Brown are going, and 24 students.
Three nights.
Yes. Any questions? Any discussion? We can move that to D on the consent agenda. The next item is the GCHS Bay Club field trip request for June the 17th through June the 19th in Nashville at Gaylord. We're having 2 teachers and between 10 and 12 students. Any comments? Any questions? Any discussion? That will move to the consent E. Next item is the JAG National Competition that is held in Salt Lake City, Utah, from April the 29th through May the 2nd. You have 1 teacher and 1 student going.
Which students going?
Hi, John.
Taylor Jones.
Taylor Jones, yes, right there.
That's great. Moving that one up.
Any question, any discussion? That also can become consent F. Now, if I understand correctly, on D, E, and F that we just did, there is no expense to the school system. If there was, I wanted to call that out. If that is something that each of the organizations take care of, is that not correct? All right. Because I noticed particularly on the G one that we're fixing to look at, that it was noted on the paper that the expenses are taken care of. And G is the Tennessee Strong Summit Trip, July the 19th through the 21st. Ms. Boyd, do you want to say anything?
We are taking 21 students. We have 4 chaperones. Everything is covered through a grant through our health department.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Francis attended this, and it's really good. He attended last year.
I remember the positive comments that came from last year.
It's fabulous. It's a great time.
Any questions? Any concerns? G can become consent, G. Dr. Gurley, address H, please, sir.
Madam Chairman, these are items that are in the mighty building that need to be disposed of. They are no longer usable. Some of these have been in there for years. We just want to make sure that they're properly surplus before we discard them.
Take time to look at the list and see if you have any questions. No discussion? Then H can become consent, H. Here's a letter from the Boys Basketball Booster Club, wishing permission to pay Coach Button a stipend in the amount of $10,000.
And that's paid by the Booster Club.
It is paid by the Booster Club.
Speaking of Coach, did y'all see that on TV?
Yes,
Yes.
That's
Yes.
pretty awesome, wasn't it?
it was wonderful. Dr. Durley, how does this affect Title IX for us?
Well, it doesn't affect Title IX, provided that the Girls Booster Club pays a similar stipend.
Okay, that was what I wanted out, the fact that they.
It's the moment that they don't, that you have issues. You could potentially run into the same issue with baseball and or softball.
Right. So we do not have requests from any other booster club except this one. So, board members, do you wish to decide on this one tonight? Okay. Since it is money involved, it will become C on the approved agenda, I believe. Correct, Melvin?
Say A, B, yeah, we see.
All right.
That's.
I received a request from a board member to put on the agenda a new GCBOE attorney.
Didn't we just vote on that just a
We
few
did last
months
year.
ago?
I would like to do it again this year, in the new budget coming in.
You mean for the upcoming, upcoming school year?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you wanting the formulation of a committee again? Are you wanting, how do you wish to do that? Yeah. Have to have, I think they said an odd number is what we've got. You want to do it? Okay. When do you, well, we're in the business of budget right now, so this will need to be something that needs to be taken care of soon. When this was mentioned to me, I did start looking at things. As you all know, Scott invoices to us all the calls that he receives from Grundy County schools and everything. I went back and looked at the amount of time that he spent on Grundy County schools problems in the month of January, and it was 24 6/10 hours. I went also March, 50 plus hours. And he charges us a flat rate of $16.50, which times 12 is $19,800 a year. When I talked to him, he said that if he had charged in March the amount of money that he gets from other school systems, our bill would have been in excess of $13,000 because we had so many phone calls. So I think it's important as we start on the budget and think about what we're going to do that we consider money issues, however you want to, discretionary about that. When did he first become a board, or just, we do not have to, I checked into that too. We do not have a contract, we do not have to do it on a yearly basis. It's just until the board decides to do something different, I believe. Is that not correct, Dr. Durham?
Yes, ma'am, that's my understanding.
Yeah.
I just need clarification from the board how much allotment you want when we start discussing budget. What's the total amount we've got in there now?
$20,000.
$20,000 is what we've got budgeted, so I would assume that if you utilize one of the other two individuals, I think their hourly rate is double. I think what Mr. Bennett says potentially. So I would assume that would potentially double that line item.
Also, he's not charging us by the hour, he's charging us a flat rate.
Right.
What was the hourly rate?
Do you remember, Ms. Blunt, the yearly, listen to me, hourly rate?
No, but I've got all of it.
Okay, you'll let us know.
Yeah.
I took the 13,000, divided it by the 50, and figured out Scott's is like $260 an hour. You thought his was $250? Okay. I thought somebody's was like $400.
Yeah, one was, I think that was at Jackson.
Okay. So, So what we're going to need to do, if I understand correctly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Nunn, that needs to be tabled.
That's what she gets.
So,
That needs to be by next month. For it to be in the budget.
that's for us to decide. Well, I was simply thinking, if we can appoint a committee tonight, if that's what you would like to do, but we have to vote.
Yeah, but put it on the agenda for.
Okay, so we will leave it as item D, and I will entertain a motion to form a committee in order to do this. Is this what you want, board?
Ms. Phillips, so we paid Scott $1,650 a month.
Yes.
If you divide that by 50 hours that he would have spent, that means he charged us $33 an hour.
Yes,
If you charge
Yes.
us by the hour.
yes.
There's really no way for us to determine what Scott's hourly fee is because he doesn't charge us like that.
Right.
So he's just charging us a flat $1,650.
Item D, to appoint the committee to do a search. Is that what you want? Now then, are we ready to start discussing budget?
Where is the actual fund balance? Because I see where it's 3% of the fund balance, but I can't find the fund balance on any page.
So we took the fund balance off because there's no way right now for us to give you all even a guess at what the end of this year's fund balance, an exact, like we could guess, but it's not going to be exact. So instead of leaving it on here and trying to, it just causes confusion. It's not, last year we put it on there and then it caused all kinds of
Yeah, 'cause we had two
confusion.
different ones.
And so when we did the budget this year, we took it off because it's April and the year doesn't end until July. So if we put the fund balance, which what I did last year was put the fund balance as of the month that we budgeted. But that's not exact enough and it just causes confusion.
Okay, but before it goes to the county commissioners. it's
We don't
gonna
tell
have-
them our fund balance. We don't put it on the budget that we send to the county commissioners. They have our fund balance. They know what our fund balance
Okay,
is.
because I know that they sent it back to us last year because it didn't have the fund balance, and we had to go back and reapprove it.
No, that's not what I said.
I know that there was something about the fund balance.
No, so this budget that's on these spreadsheets, that's for you guys. The budget I send to them is totally different. It's done in the account. I mean, I take the numbers off of here, but there's no descriptions on here. It's just line items and amounts. And it's obviously doesn't have as much detail as this does. So we don't, in the budget that we send them, we budget the revenue that they tell us to budget. Basically, that they're gonna give us, then we put our state revenue on there, and then we budget the expenditures. But they're on their budget that we send over there, we don't put the fund balance on there. They know what our fund balance is. They can tell you minute to minute what the fund balance is.
They can?
The trustee can,
Okay, because I know when I've asked for it before, I had a hard time getting it.
from the trustee.
Yeah, is that who I need to ask for? Okay, I'll start calling Tyler and asking Tyler.
I mean, any Grundy County citizen can call over there and ask what the fund balance is, and it's public record. But now it does change day to day. It's based on what our expenditures for that month is versus how much revenue we got in. And then the next month it might jump up because we might get more revenue than we did expenditures. It changes daily, so.
I know that I've requested it numerous times, and I've never been able to obtain it, and Dr. Gurley finally did get it to me recently. So for now, I'm going to try to talk. Thank you.
Dr. Gurley, where would you like to start on the budget?
Oh, it doesn't matter to us. You can just go department by department if you want to.
Well, the first Regular instruction, is that what you all have got, is the first thing? All right. Page 4 in the budget.
I have a question.
Very good, ask.
I don't know what this is for.
Under the summary, the 47,000 federal through the state, and there's a blank there, there's nothing.
I'm trying to get back to it.
I don't know what that is. Can you explain it to me?
At the top,
Yes,
so, if we wanted to budget, the revenue we get from federal grants, the revenue accounts start with 47.
okay.
So, but federal money is passed through basically, so we spend the money and they reimburse us. So it's a literal, they give us this amount of money, like we budget, they tell us, they give us our allocation. We budget that, we spend it, and then they reimburse us for it. So it's just, we don't
It's
make
just a
any
wash.
money, it's just a wash.
Okay.
And so if we put all of our federal revenue up there, it would make us look like we're gonna take in a whole bunch of revenue that we're actually not. It's a reimbursement. It works off reimbursement. So we spend it, they reimburse us.
Okay.
All right, let's look at page 4, is that all right to start there? Questions?
Where, page 4, did you say?
Yes, ma'am. Regular instruction. Anybody got a question? Career ladder is,
117.
well, we're leaving what it is, I believe, those of us that did career ladder back in the dinosaur days, we have retired. And
There's very, I think
It's phasing out.
maybe
It's phasing out.
maybe 3 people left that gets it, and honestly, it also, the state sends us that money.
Right,
Okay.
But it is an expenditure. I mean, it goes on their check, so that's why we budget.
but
We
those
have
of
very
us that
few
did
people.
that.
I think it's
have
3
long
people.
gone.
I think it's 3 people left.
All right, so that's what it is. I want to talk about 4 down the textbooks.
So in the last year's budget, Dr. Gurley, do you want to or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
In this last year's budget with $450,000, we adopted science
Yes.
textbooks. And along with that, also they needed stuff to go with the new science curriculum. So that money was budgeted in there. Next year, we're adopting social studies textbooks, and they're just considerably cheaper. We won't have to buy as many. And in an effort to,
Those grades are what, 6 through 12?
6 through 12. So we will have to buy some, it's the math gap year, as they call it. So and Kathy can explain this better than I can probably, but do what? Not math. ELA gap year. So between when our adoption ends and then when it's the new adoption year. So we did budget some money in there to potentially buy some ELA material that we were out. But the reason it dropped so much is because we budgeted a lot for science textbooks, and we didn't really know how much they were going to, like we didn't know, and we don't know how much the social textbooks are going to cost. We have a good idea, but it's next year, so.
And we, Miss Kathy, we buy social studies textbooks for grades.
So we only test, the state only tests 6th through 12th grade.
Okay.
So we will adopt all grades. So that way we have it on the adoption record, which that's sent into the state. In case the state comes back and says, we're going to start testing those lower grades. As of right now, there is no plan in sight to start testing social studies 5th grade and under.
But also our ELA curriculum, about half of our ELA curriculum is social studies based. So it's not like they're not getting any.
So this amount of money will adequately take care of what we need.
Now, we've got a remainder that's left up and running now.
Okay.
How much do we have, how much do we figure?
There's
189?
like 189,000 in there this year that
All
we
right,
haven't
right.
used, so that's why we
Yeah.
determined that we could cut it down for next
All
year.
right, thank you. Looking at 524, then service and staff development.
That's cut down because that line for last year, that's where we paid for the Defender training.
Okay.
So that's why there was such an increase last year, and then it's cut back
All
down this
right,
year.
I should have known that.
I mean, that's not a training we would need to do every
Yeah,
year.
okay.
I mean, it was great. It was really good training.
But it's still more than the year of 24, 25.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's 10,000 whereas it was
With the,
5,000.
is it like the training's like, for the defender training is like every 4 years? Or once you have the training, then you know?
The board never did make that decision. I
The
don't-
board is who, voted for us to do it.
The board decision.
I mean, I would assume that we're trained until we feel like there's enough turnover in the staff that
That
we
we
would
need
need
to
to
do.
train again. It is very good training, but I don't think it's something we need to do.
Any other questions about regular instruction? Page 5, is the special ed program. There's the career letter again, you see what happened there?
Yeah.
Speech pathologist, did we lose a position or?
No, so last year we budgeted for an extra person that we didn't end up hiring. And
Okay.
it was because we were gonna hire a person to work with our teachers and our students before they get into speech to make sure that we're not disproportionate, so we're not testing kids for speech when really they could use a little bit of intervention. And because we were, the state came and said that we were disproportionate in speech. Like we had, I'm using the wrong word, not recognized. We had too many speech and language kids
Okay.
as far as what everybody else had. So we had budgeted for an extra position there, then that we ended up not hiring, so that's why. And then, of course, one of our speech pathologists that's been around a long time, she retired, so the person we replaced her with, less money too.
All right. What's the big difference in medical insurance, line 207?
So you'll notice across the entire
Yeah,
budget, the
I did.
state told us to budget a 10% increase in everyone's medical insurance. They haven't told us, we don't know what the rates are yet, but they told us when we did our budget to budget a 10% increase. So it's gonna be more
And that
everywhere.
116,000.
Yeah. Oh, we went, so probably what happened there is like, we have a few special ed people that are retiring. And so if the new people that we've hired aren't carrying insurance, that's gonna be different. Just based on, who's actually working in those positions, if they have insurance or if they carry it through, their spouse or what have you. But we went person by person and checked their insurance rate, and we typically don't do that because it changes, but we did that this year because of the increase. And then I increased it, if they have insurance this year, like they're gonna have insurance next year, and I increased it by 10%, the budget for it. So last year was just a good guess of what, and then people retire and, things happen.
Any other questions on special education? Dr. Gurley, you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Page 6 is vocational ed. Questions?
The difference here is in that medical insurance line,
Yes.
and then in the other contracted services line, that is for our welding teacher and for JAG. That's what's paid out there. Our welding teachers pay through TCAT, so that's why it's in $399 and not
Page 7, the attendance. Question? $5.99 on attendance placement.
So the 599 line is, you know, I didn't even put the total of it, I apologize for that. It's money that you can use for almost basically anything.
Okay.
So instead of putting extra money in the top, we started putting a little bit of a cushion in $5.99. You know, if somebody's computer, you know, goes out or somebody's printer, you know, like just stuff like that. That's what
It says other charges.
Other charges, yeah.
Yes. Any questions? On page 8. Is 131, again, we have an RN with less experience. We had somebody retire, so that clarifies that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll look at the bottom at $3.99 and $4.99, the materials that were bought there can be used for several years. Is that correct, Dr. Barnett?
Yes, so in $399, you'll notice last year there was $5,000 budgeted there, and in next year's budget, I should say in this year's current budget, we have $5,000. In next year's budget, we budgeted nothing, because if you all remember, we had that diabetes grant that had been there for years and years and years sitting, and Mary Lee last year did some digging on that, and we used it to pay for, I don't remember how many years, multiple years, 3 years of the nursing, the software the nurses use.
Okay.
So we don't need that money in $399, because it's been paid for national already.
Any questions there? And then the AED and 504 supplies, there's not as much need in this building.
We just haven't spent as much, so.
Yes. Page 9, other student support.
So, is this an additional guidance counselor? Is this for the high school or for one of the elementary
For the
schools?
K-8s.
For the K-8s. So there's actually we added 2 additional positions for guidance counselors into the budget.
We felt like the board's focus on mental health, this would coincide with their focus on that particular policy.
So will these guidance counselors be doing the guidance counselors like for the school, like for college and things like that, and then counseling if they need it as well? For these-
Yes,
these
to
two
the
areas?
elementary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know that the guidance counselors at the high school, they focus on the kids too, but they also focus on helping them get their, like scholarships and things like that. But these two would focus on mental health for kids, for counseling.
Well, that is a focus of theirs, but yes.
Okay.
Other questions? Page 10, regular instruction. This is the instructional coaches.
No, ma'am, this is the budget that Ms. Kathy gets paid from.
Uh-huh.
Deidre Stoppin for instructional supervisor comes from. And then there's one is the math instructional coach, which is the coach for the entire county. She gets paid out of this budget. The rest of the coaches are paid from federally.
Any questions? Page 11, special ed.
Can you explain what this hybrid stabilization is?
Yes, so there's two different types of retirement. So everybody that's been around for more than about 13 or 14 years, they have legacy retirement. So it's like it's a certain percentage of however much you make, and it's put into the TCRS. People that haven't been around as long, the state changed. So used to everybody was on legacy retirement. So they changed however many.
It's like 401k. for
Yeah, so however many people, I mean, like however many years ago, I think it's like 13-ish, the state changed, and now they've divided the money, so like some of it is put into the legacy retirement like ours is, but some of it is invested, like a 401k type, and it's just the state determines who, and it's based on, like I say, like probably everybody sitting at this table has legacy retirement because we've been around a very long time. But newer employees, they have hybrid. It's called hybrid stabilization. So their retirement money goes in two different pots of the state, and they do kind of two different things with them. The percentages are a little bit different. Like legacy percentage is one thing, and then if you're the hybrid stabilization, you pay a percentage here. We pay for them a percentage here and a percentage here. It's just a different way. It's just hybrid stabilization cannot be in federal dollars, so you're not allowed to put it in federal budgets. So probably in this budget, someone is budgeted in here that has hybrid that we didn't realize, like when we budgeted last year, is, somebody that we didn't realize was going to be working for us that we didn't get any hybrid insurance. Hybrid retirement health insurance.
So 161 and 162, we have secretaries and then one is clerical personnel, so.
Yeah, we've kind of just left, historically, people were budgeted some in 161 and some in 162, and we've kind of just, for the position, we've kind of just left it like that. So 161 is the financial secretary that works in central office in the exceptional ed department, and 162 is the secretary that works at the high school in the exceptional education department.
So what we're saying is we're paying somebody $21,000 for an entire year of work.
School secretaries, they're, when you notice, when we get to the principal's budget, you'll notice that their salary scale is not good.
Okay.
But yes, that is a whole person. That's.
Okay, I have another question. So 207, you have medical insurance, and you've got it, and then there's a blank.
Yeah, nobody in that line has insurance, has health insurance this year. So the budget for you for next year. So that 7,000 is probably one person. Yeah.
Any other questions, page 11? Page 12.
The main increase in this line is in that 599. line, you'll see that it increased $10,000. So the camera licensing for all the cameras in all the schools, that's been split between multiple places. So we paid some of it out, when we had Esther, we paid it out of there some. ISM has paid part of it, but of course, ISM goes away, this is the last year for that, so we had to move the additional camera licensing money into the technology budget. That's the reason for that increase from 25,000 to 35,000 in the 599 line. Basically, the only difference.
Page 13.
On 191, that is our monthly meter, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for 24, 25, and 25, 26, we stay right in our budget, the $43,300.
That's how much we budgeted for you. You didn't stay in that budget, but that's how much we budgeted for you. The reason we added more to it is because we're going over every year.
Okay.
Because we were
Special meetings.
having extra meetings and stuff, so
Yes,
we
this is
tried
one
to
of the
take
things
care of that in the budget.
This is one of the things that we're going to have to look at, like next month or June, we're going to have to do a large amendment because we have gone over with special meetings and retreats and things like that. So,
On the retreats, we're not paid for those,
No,
correct?
you're not paid for retreats. Special meetings you are, but
okay,
retreats you are.
okay, I'm sorry. I asked Dr. Barnett to give us me an estimation of, well, if we have just the 3 more regular board meetings, that's going to be $3,016. Each additional meeting, there would be $4,021. A special call meeting was $1,596. We're looking at a budget amendment right now of close to $15,000, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So this 23,200 is just regular meetings, right? Regular monthly meetings?
Do I know? The 43,200.
The 43,200, that's just.
That's what we budgeted. That is not what we spent. This is just
that-
what we.
Is that like a calculation of just regular monthly meetings
Yes.
for you?
Yeah.
But now, in the line for the 24, 25, that would be the actual amount, correct?
No, this is what we budgeted, not what we actually spent.
Oh, okay.
So the 24, 25 line, that was the board approved budget.
Do you know what we actually?
Without amendments, that's just like your beginning of the year board approved budget. In 24, 25, and this year's 25, 26, and then projected next year. This is not what we actually spent in any of these lines.
And also, last year, was there not a raise given for the meetings? And that would make a difference if you
No,
had.
It was, I think it was
Year forward, okay,
We came on board.
okay, all right.
Okay, do you know so the actual 24, 25, and this is correct now, 23,
43,200?
43, I'm sorry. 43.
No, this is the budget. This is not what was actually spent. I don't know what's actually spent. I would have to go back.
It was a projection, not including any special call meetings or anything.
Okay.
This is just the budget. This is not what we spent.
Madam Chairman, you'll need to clarify what y'all want to spend on legal services for next year too.
Yes, if you will notice, line 331 right there, thank you. Board, we're going to, if we get this ready tonight, we're going to have to come up with an estimate of what you think.
I don't think we need to be spending more than what we've been spending. I mean, last year we had 23,000 budgeted. We surely don't need to go over that in our budget. And they've got in here 20,000, which seems reasonable to me.
Ms. Phillips, I also want to remind everybody, when you look back on that summary page at the very beginning. Right now, with the budgeted revenue and the budgeted expenditures, we break even. So we're not into the fund balance with this budget. So if we start adding expenditures to this budget, then that's gonna start putting us where we are going to spend the fund balance.
So can you define 510 for me?
Yes. So, based on, every month, when the trustee closes out the month, in the trustee's office, I get a month-end report. And based on how much money has gone through on our behalf, so checks and revenue, it's a percentage. And I don't know what the percentage is, but
Depends on how many
it's typically,
transactions it does.
yeah, it's typically close to $20,000 a month. So before, so if you look back at 24, 25, we were only budgeting $87,000 and again, having to make huge budget amendments to cover it. So we decided last year to go ahead and budget up, you know, so it's more reflective of what we're actually going to spend. Now, Dr. Darley and I, when we did this budget, we took, again, it's our best guess because we don't know how much money's going to go in and out from the trustee, obviously. We could be off a little bit, I mean, I'm not sure, but that was based on averages and things like that.
We do a 3-year average.
Yeah, that's what we did. It was a 3-year average and tried to.
Multiply by 12. Some months are heavier, some months are lighter. It just depends on how much money's coming through the system.
And it's just Fund 141, we pay trustees commissions, we do not pay it in federal, we do not pay it in food service, but we do pay it in our Fund 333, which is our investment fund that where someone's donated money to us. We do pay it in that, but it's not very much.
But that is something that's decided down in the trustee's office.
I'm pretty sure,
Our government.
feel like it's in the, I don't know if it's a state law, like if there's a TCA that does it, or if that's something that the commission decided. I can find out.
I think it's go.
I thought at one time that it was government too.
I feel like it probably is.
And every county has to do a certain percentage. Now,
I'll
the
try
way
to
they
look.
handle that money in different, it's handled differently. But,
I've never researched like if it's their discretion or
Right.
commission's discretion or what they do with the money. I have no idea.
Any other questions? Do you want to change the amount for the legal fees? If you do, we'll need to have a motion to do that. What do you want to do with the legal fees?
Ms. Lester, if we had a lawsuit, would that eat that 20,000 up real quick? Do we have lawsuits?
So I think it's part of the money we pay them already.
The flat fee?
You will, if you're involved in a lawsuit, the board will have a defense attorney, which in the past has been Mr. Bennett. His fees are paid by insurance. You have coverage
Okay.
to pay those, so that would be no extra cost
Okay.
to the district.
I think probably, remember, that was for something else.
You want to leave it like it is? What do you want to do, board?
We got to have our budget approved.
I thought we had to have it, don't we have to have it into the commission this month?
We're supposed to have it to the commission.
Here is the.
We have to have it into the commission
Here is
first
the
of May.
calendar. April will run out of time.
Well, we could leave it at the 20, and if we went over, could we pull it out of the other charges? The 50 out of the other charges, out of the 599?
So
The
you
other
all,
charges are tied to your Obama penalty.
Yeah.
you all spend
We
that
pay every year.
There's no, we
When are we
typically
going
have
to
to
finish with that?
do what?
When is that going to be?
We don't pay as much as we
We
used
have
to.
really cut it down to where we're paying minimal
It's still a
Obamacare
good deal.
penalties. Affordable Care Act is actually what it's
Yes.
supposed to be called. We have worked extremely hard to get that cut down as much as we can.
Yes.
But we still pay some penalties. And then there's multiple things that get paid out of that $599 line. You won't have, there won't be extra money in that line to pay for that.
How did we take and drop it to 20,000 from 23?
Based on, so the year before, in years before that, we had safely, but you know, like we gave ourselves some cushion. And in this budget, we took the cushion out. Cause he paid, I mean, it's $16.50 a month, it's very, you know, like if you multiply that out, it comes out actually just a little bit less than $20,000. So we just took the few $1,000s extra out. So when we do this budget, Dr. Gurley and I, the supervisors go through and give us, they work off a budget worksheet. They give us what they want budgeted. And then Dr. Gurley and I pull up this current year that we're in, the previous year, figure out how much we've actually spent in every line. If we're, you know, if we're having money left over in a line every year, that kind of tells us we're probably over budgeting there. And we just make our best prediction
That's what I
about.
thought when it said actual, I thought that was actually what we did spend
No.
in those years, so that's what I was actually.
No, actual means the actual budget that you passed,
Okay.
or that the board passed. This is a budget, not an expenditure report.
Think about that till we have the regular meeting in a few minutes. And I need some motions, or no motion. Page 14.
This budget basically stayed the same.
Yes.
Except for a little bit increase in medical insurance, state retirement. You can really see it in this budget just because there's so few people in it, but the percentage for legacy retirement, they changed it, the state changed it a little bit, so that's why there's an increase there. We dropped, you'll notice the communication line, we dropped that by $10,000. The in-service line, we dropped it a couple $1,000s. And that's basically the only differences in this budget.
As far as the travel, why did we take that out? Because I know that Dr. Gurley has meetings and stuff that conventions that he has to go to.
It's paid out of that 524 line. If it's out of 355 is supposed to be used for like within the county, and he does not get paid for travel within the county. So we took it and put it in 524. And actually, he wasn't even using all that, which is why we dropped it.
524?
Yeah. And you'll notice we dropped it $2,000 because it's not all being used either. And so 524 pays for like conference, the fee to go to the conference. It pays for, you know, the expenditure checks that you get. It pays for the, you know, your travel expense. All that's paid out of 524 if you travel outside of the district.
Any question? Discussion? Go right ahead, Ms. Snell. Page 15, principals, secretaries.
So this is for all of our principals, assistant principals, The school secretaries, I have to go see who that extra person 161 is. Paid out of there, I can remember. Oh, it's, the high school secretaries are paid out of 161 and other schools are paid out of 162.
Any questions there? Now might be the time. I have received a request from a board member that they wanted to discuss raise for parapros. I was given cooks and this sort of thing.
And all the non-certified.
All of them uncertified. So are we talking about secretaries?
Yes, ma'am.
So
I asked for a $2,000 raise for them.
I was approached this month also from 2 different administrators in their schools about a potential bonus for all of our others. That's just what everybody down the road. And the suggestion wasn't a full bonus like the teachers got, potentially half of that, because these schools cannot function without these people. And you guys are looking at this stuff right now, and you're seeing that our elementary school secretaries are paid out of 162, and we have 5 schools.
And I can tell
And
you
it doesn't
exactly
take
how
much
they
math.
pay. So their salaries, and I'm not gonna tell you their names attached to them, but, so I'm just gonna list them. 24,350, 19,243, 26,500, 19,781.
And I venture to guess that none of us can make a living on that.
Exactly.
So,
I was approached by some that are have to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. And they're only in the school system because they love their job. They love these kids.
All right, I've got a question, and this is what's been mentioned to me. Are we talking about a one-time bonus like the teachers got, or are you talking about putting in the salary line?
I think it needs to be the salary because what they're making now, they can go to a McDonald's and make the same amount.
if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but did we not just go ahead and fund up the teachers' pay that last year, go ahead and give them that
And I
extra
thought that,
for?
That was a
yeah.
state requirement.
Yeah,
And
that was
I thought
state.
that we discussed in that meeting this year.
Yeah, but it
maybe
was
we
2,000 this year, 2,000 last year, 2,000 this year, and we went ahead and gave 4.
Yes.
Is what we did,
Mhm.
to open it up for our non-classifieds for a $2,000 addition.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's
That's
exactly
what I would like to see happen, because if they can take them, they can go make what a kid in high school can make at McDonald's. I think it's a shame. I think we need to be looking at taking it and doing something to them.
Well, I can tell you, and I've done it in this, I've cooked up here and everything, but most parents, most moms will work these jobs because it aligns with their children, their workload. And it doesn't pay you. I mean, it's extremely hard. I have done it. I did it for many years. My mom did it for many years. And I think we need, I'm with Shayla and Mary Ann. I think you can, me and
Okay, then what I think we need to do is to give Dr. Barnett and Dr. Durley, we need to have a motion later on that we would like to do that, because they're gonna have to go back and refigure budgets. How many departments?
And I am willing to give up my pay
I know that's what
for these people if we don't have it here. I mean,
So what we'll have to do, we'll have to go into all the pay scales.
143.
Dr. Darley, would you like to say something?
I was talking.
We can't hear you
Yeah,
down here.
I told him, I said, oh, that's a lot of work, and he was telling me all the different, I mean, you go ahead.
Okay, because we can hear
So we
you.
have to take,
It was just
we have to
a
take
sidebar,
every
that's
pay
all.
scale and like project it, like a proposed pay scale. And then take that and go person by person and go in all these budget worksheets and change there, which will change all the, it's gonna change all those lines we just went through, it's gonna change every one of them.
Well, I'm sitting right here looking at the paper that we received before this meeting, where we're losing employees. And it's been with the school system for a while. If these employees was making more money, maybe they would want to stay.
I'm a fan of everybody.
I mean, this one's having to work 2 jobs.
love for everyone.
It's just not fair.
It's just really hard after you're this far in the budget process to go and change people's pay.
I just wish that we could go in and have this meeting over the budget earlier in the year. That's something we should have had on the agenda, and we should have started last month or the month before. And it would save you some of this work.
Yeah, it should be a 15 to 7 month order.
So that's why we give you guys the budget calendar so early, so you all can know what's coming. So if you have stuff like this, that would be the time for you guys to put it on the agenda.
We have brought it up. It's been brought up before.
Mine was totally just today because I was just
Yeah.
approached in the
I
last
mean,
couple of weeks.
when
so
you
it's-
start looking at the pay scales, I
Yes,
can
and I
talk from
understand.
here until 10 o'clock tonight, all the things that I think need to be changed about the pay scales. I complained about it. Like Dr. Hurley and I have had multiple discussions about it. But when you start trying to tackle them, it's such huge changes that you just can't do it all at one time. I mean, Kelly and I were looking at it today, like the changes from one year to the next within one pay scale. There's no rhyme or reason of like this year people get this much raise, and the next year they get a different raise, and then a different amount, and this one's more, and this one's less, and this one's none. Like there's no rhyme or reason to how the pay scales are set up. There's a lot of pay scales that after 21 years, you're getting no raise at all. So everybody sitting up here hasn't probably increased our yearly, because after on the teacher pay scale, after 21 years, you get nothing else. In every other county, they're getting raises all the way up to 30 years. There are multiple things that need to be changed on the pay scales. It's just finding the money, finding the money to do it. And you're talking like, you think about $2,000. So we know how much $2,000 costs because we have it. It's 2306 actually per. So then if you're looking at times 100 people, that's $230,000.
Okay, but now, like you said, everybody on the board right there pretty much has to stay the same. Was the ones with the teaching degree, was they not given the $4,000 last year? Okay, so they did
Yes.
get that right. Okay. I just want
So
to make
it's
sure
also
that
you change the pay scale, you get that raise, but then, from year 21 to year 30, you're not getting, unless you all increase the whole pay scale.
Like we did last
You're
year.
getting no increment. I mean, there's some pay scales that for whatever reason stop at 15 years. I don't know why they did that when they made the pay scale. It's Billy's, some of Billy's folks, and we've looked and researched and tried to find them.
Over 20 years, they have
The basis.
3 raises, and it's less than $400.
Yeah, you guys make the pay scales.
While we're talking about the budget, I think that this will probably fall in this year's budget. I do have a question. Mr. May, are you still taking and doing a lot of bus runs?
Am I still doing a lot of bus runs?
How many hours a week?
How many hours a week are you taking?
I've had people out since January, so
I think that we need to take and look at doing the same bonus that we did last year for him. If he did 2 jobs, he deserves money. Can we add that to the agenda, please?
Well, we're in the budget right now. I will ask for additions, and then you can go there.
Okay.
So that would be on this year's, not.
So just one question about the 2 different options that we talked about here. Is it the same, and I'm not basing this on the amount of work, is it the same amount of work for a one-time bonus and then add a pay scale changes to, after the budget, is it the same amount of work for either or? Is it?
Well, if y'all are going to give a $2,000 raise that you expect to be carried out every year, we'll have to change the pay scale.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's the question of, do you want to give a $2,000 raise or do you want to give a $2,000 bonus? If you give a $2,000 bonus one time, we don't change the pay scales. Like,
Right.
it's still going to be lots of work. Like, we're still going to have to go in and I'm not complaining about the work at all. It's
Right.
just,
But in order to balance the budget, we'll have to look at possible cuts in other departments.
yeah.
Right.
If you want to not go into the fund balance,
Yeah, if you want to go into the fund balance,
which is fine, it's just your fund balance.
So we should have been having this discussion last August
Yes, ma'am.
about pay scales.
well, now keep in mind, Ms. Nelda, when we started, we had about 28 different pay scales.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
we-
pay scale
we-
situation is
We've
wild.
worked and eliminated a bunch since we've been here, but
So if you all remember last year, we really looked at the nurses' pay scale.
Yes.
And the financial secretaries at the central office and looked at how much, like if they worked from year 0 all the way to year 30, they made like, I don't know, some terrible amount, like $3,000 more than they did when they started. And we changed those too. Really, we need to take them like that in chunks and like choose some and change them, you know, a little bit at a time.
So, actually, it's kind of late in the year to be changing the pay scale, but we do really need to look at this for the future.
It definitely needs to
I mean,
be.
we need to start really getting down and looking at the pay scales, though. I mean, long-term, and to do it early,
I've
not wait
made a
until April.
document that really, so it's like historical pay, and it, so every time, not, the teacher pay scale's not on there because it has so many pieces of parts, but every other pay scale's on there, and it's like, in this year, this was the pay scale, then it changed to this, and it changed to this, and how much difference in all the years, and it's all on one big huge spreadsheet, so you can really see like, you know, wow, why does this group of people, like their pay scale needs to be addressed. But we've done a lot of that, it's just, it's a lot.
That's why I was asking, would it be more feasible for like a one-time bonus to all of those people for this budget and then work on the pay scales? Or is that the same amount of moving stuff around?
The only difference in that would be, we wouldn't have to change the actual pay scales. We're still gonna have to go.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go with those pay scales.
We're still gonna have to go person by person and add, you know, the $2,000 plus all the benefits. It's still, because you can't just, so like, it would be great if we could throw it all in one line, like, we're gonna pay everybody $2,000 out of this month, but you can't do that. You have to put it in their actual pay line because of taxes and benefits and such.
The only thing about the bonus, I mean, if that's the only thing we could do, I definitely would be for that. But just like this letter that we have, our workers are overworked and they do not have enough staff to take and do the jobs. And then they're taking and have to also take and hold another job just to take and pay their bills. So, I mean,
I know the pay scales that we work.
it's ridiculous.
And I've been saying it for as long as I have had access to the pay scales.
I think, if we have to, I think now's the time. I'm sorry for the extra work, but I think now's the time to do something about it. Gas ties it in. I'm sure they're having groceries. I'm sure they're having a hard time even making it to work. $2,000, I mean, that's not a lot, but anything we can do to help, I think we need to be doing.
Yeah, so the other thing we need to look at then, if you're gonna do whatever you decide, so you have all the teachers that will get the $2,000, you have all the classified people that will get $2,000, and then you have about 25 people that are not getting any of that.
And that's what, now we did the teachers last year, so this would be,
Now, I'm talking about the $2,000 they're about to get from
Okay.
the governor. If we give them, we give everybody else $2,000 so that everybody's,
Right.
then there's a group of people that are not gonna get it.
Your
There's some hardworking
supervisors,
folks too.
right?
Ma'am.
Your supervisors is just.
Principals,
Yes. the people that
supervisors,
were
social
left out.
workers.
Yeah.
There's more people on there than just principals and supervisors.
but we also did the $4,000 last year and left out these people that were looking at this year's on there.
Well, that was because the state said we had to.
The state said we had to do 2,000 last year, we did 2,000 this year, and when they gave me 4,000, so it opened at 2,000 this year.
Didn't we vote last year, though, that if the, to go ahead and that we would make up for the other teachers who were not included, the other certified people?
I don't remember.
No, for the education free, no, we never got that.
You have to remember too that
It was brought up.
the teachers got the $4,000 and they're gonna get another $2,000 right now. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, part
not,
of the teachers are going to get the education.
well, everyone that is a teacher is going to.
Yeah.
That was in 24 or 25.
Yes, ma'am. That was a teacher in 24, 25, not our current teachers. It's
Yeah.
teachers that were very specific about that. Who gets it. I'm just, it's whatever you guys want to do, I'm just.
So obviously, I'm for giving everybody all the money we've given. Obviously, we can't do that.
I mean, we all do. We have to give
Yes, I want y'all to
everybody-
write so many zeros on checks that we have to find your paper. But, if we're talking about helping these guys out now, I mean, like I said, if we can get something now for them, and then over the next 2 or 3 months, we get those pay scales raised by that amount, and then we would be able to put an overall increase on all the pay scales for the next year's budget. We could still help everybody out now, and then also be helping them out going forward.
So then the other thing you need to think about too, if you decide to do a $2,000 bonus for everyone, so the teachers, the $2,000 is coming from the state. If I'm not wrong, Dr. Gurley, they're gonna pay that, we're gonna be able to pay that before the school year's over. That's the intention of the state.
That's what they say.
So then you have to ask, are you gonna try to pay the $2,000 to everybody else, like right now in this budget? Or you want to put it in next year's budget? So,
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
Is there money this year? Excuse me.
that's okay.
Is there money in this year's budget?
I'm not totally sure, like I would have, I would have to, I obviously haven't counted how many people, I didn't know this was a thing, so I have to go through the entire, also, I'm in the process right now of going through, making sure, what salary lines, if we're gonna be short anywhere, need to move some money around, which takes an extremely long time to do, and I started doing that after we got this budget done. I have no idea how much that will cost. I'm scared to guess. Ms. Phyllis and I checked who's gonna get, like we have a list of everybody that, obviously, because we had to send that in before, but I don't have a good guess of how many classified people that, I don't know how much it would cost. I'm sorry, I haven't prepared that. So it's probably about 200, a little more than 200.
we have roughly 406 employees, and you said how many teachers?
130-ish.
So,
All right, are substitutes counted in that employees?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I think it's gonna cost, I'm gonna guess, $270,000 to give
Okay.
everyone that,
No, it's 270 times 2 is 500.
270 times 2.
oh, 270 employees. Okay. Let me, I thought yours
Over
said
$500,000.
$500,000.
Over 500,000.
Yeah, because you have about double the amount of teachers we have classified employees. So that makes sense.
we're saying that for everyone, right?
I mean, if I can.
Giving it to everyone or just?
Just the class, right?
There's not but about 25 people that are excluded, that have a teacher license, that aren't classified, that aren't getting the other out of the 400 and whatever employees.
Okay, so this is just for like are they non-classified or like I said, right?
Classified is what they're called.
Classified, and that's the janitors, the paraprofessionals.
Everyone who doesn't have a teaching license, classified.
And then the classifieds that are excluded, and I'd ask you about that, you're talking about $55,358.40.
It's 35 employees that
Yeah, 600,000.
they're not going to get $55,000. If they did a raise, yes. So that is a good point. If you do a raise, you have to think about, you're going to be hitting the fund balance for that. You're going to be hitting the budget for that $2,000 every year. So whatever it costs you, if you do a raise for that much, that's how much it's going to cost every year. It's going to increase our overall budget by that much.
Just like you did with the raise that we did with the teachers.
Yes, it's just
Keep it.
more people.
All right, we need to, we will, do we need to continue going through this, Dr. Barnett, until Dr. Durley, until the board decides what it wants to do about money?
I think you need to go through the rest of the lines and look through them while you're here, because
We don't want to change it one time.
if there's other instances where you want to add something or take away something or whatever else, that's the will of the board, but we're going to probably have to in order to get a budget that's balanced, we're gonna have to go back and do some significant cutting for that.
We don't have but 6 more pages, so looking there at page 15, is there any more discussion there?
That's the principal and secretary budget.
Yes.
There's really nothing in here besides salaries of the principals, assistant principals, secretaries. And benefits.
All right, looking at page 16.
This is my line. The difference, we moved one of our payroll people into the, she does the 143 payroll, so we moved her salary into 143. That's one of the differences there. And then, obviously, just a change in personnel and stuff like that makes up the rest of the difference.
Page 16, any questions? Page 17.
This is the HR budget, so the supervisor of HR, 1 clerical personnel. This is a pretty small budget too. The $5.99 pays for background checks and drug screenings and stuff like that.
Page 18, custodial.
How many employees do we have in line 166?
Custodial.
13 maybe?
Hang on just 1 second, I'll
What
check.
line?
166.
You're talking custodians?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12.
And does that count the ones that resigned?
Counts the position, yes.
Any questions? Page 19.
On this one, I was going to put on the agenda to hire a maintenance supervisor.
I hadn't forgotten that, thank you. It would be on the, okay. But the hiring of a maintenance supervisor?
Yes. So we will need to add money into this.
No, it's not budgeted for in this budget.
Pardon me?
I said it's not budgeted for in this budget, so
Right.
we would have to add it.
And you had a proposal of what, 50?
50,000.
So if there's a pay scale.
Oh, there is a pay scale.
Okay, I think the last year was 50,000. Does that change?
No, it wouldn't change. I don't remember what it is, but.
I know last year was 50.
Also, you know, your, I can't talk. You're, guessing, obviously, that within the pay scale where a maintenance supervisor, you know, like, you don't know how much experience they have or,
I know that's what was suggested.
Last year.
How many,
I don't remember what it was.
how many employees are in line 167?
Maintenance.
How many?
2 and then a part-time one.
So we've got 2 full-time maintenance employees and 1 part-time.
Yes.
So I see one full-time.
How many do we actually have right now?
2 full-time and a part-time.
Just
Anything else on maintenance? And page 20, transportation.
Line 511. Why is there such a great increase in insurance?
We're actually investigating that, by the way.
Okay, so y'all check on mine.
All of our insurance has just gone up crazy high. In the last thing that they sent us, we met with them, what day was that? Monday. So they're supposed to be coming back at us and making sure that, we don't need to shop that, because that is,
It's ridiculous.
it's increased a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Anything else? Billy, how many bus
Billy, how
drivers?
many bus drivers? 146, including.
We actually have 19 budgeted for, I think, 21.
Hang on a second, I'll tell you that.
How long has it been since you've had a school staff?
Since we've had a full staff, probably 3 years ago. 4.
I know it's been a while.
There's 23 bus drivers budgeted for it.
23 budgets for it. And we only have 19.
There's 1, 2, 3.
Technically, 21 doesn't go right.
There's 3.
You are doing the job of 2 other people, it's pretty much. If you ever have to do the job of 2 other people,
There's multiple, more than 20. I call them every day.
There are 3 open positions in here. So there's 23 positions, there are 3 open that they don't have a name, they're just a position.
Page 21, early childhood.
Just to note on the transfer, we can keep flipping over, but, when I realized how few bus drivers we have, when I realized how few bus drivers we have, we actually do, as a system, pay for a portion of the training of CDL, because I was checking into it, back, I think back in January when, I realized how few there were, so, I don't know how we recruit, bus drivers nationwide are maybe relatively close to what these guys are making, so,
how many of our bus drivers are close to retirement?
All of them.
Yeah, half of them.
There's one bus driver that drove my husband to school that is still driving.
That's my concern, what happens when they take theirs.
She's got 49 years.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah, she drove my husband to school.
There's several, and some that stand because they don't have to help.
Pretty close to it. Pretty close to it.
One thing I do want everyone to look on the transportation budget, if you'll notice in line 729, we budgeted $210,000 in transportation equipment. So Billy applied for and received a grant from Volkswagen. I think it's for 5 buses, right, Billy?
Yeah, it's $510,000 for 5 buses.
So we have a match part in that grant. So this $210,000 is our part of 3 buses. And I don't know if you all remember the last time we bought a bus, 1 bus cost $210,000. So it is a huge expense, but we're getting 3 buses for really the cost of what 1 bus would cost us. And then the other 2 will be in the next budget year. We have 2 budget. We have 2 years to actually do the whole thing. We didn't want to buy them all at one time. So.
How much is propane actually saving over diesel? Great amount. Are you talking about lead foot?
Next page, you have capital outlay as the next.
Early childhood.
Early childhood, I thought we had that. All right, I'm sorry, early childhood.
So this is the budget for early childhood. We budget, actually, for all of our pre-K teachers that we have, even though we typically get a VPK grant, volunteer pre-K, but we don't know if we get the grant until after we have to budget. So we always budget like we're gonna have to pay all of them. But typically we get the grant and it pays for two full pre-Ks, but we don't know that right now. It's not been awarded, so we budget like we're going to have to pay them, and then if the money is left over,
So we got that grant for the current year.
yes, we've gotten it. I don't know how long. Kathy, how many years have we gotten it? A long time. Very long time. There's no reason for us to believe that we won't get it, but again, we feel like it would be a little irresponsible to not budget for the pre-Ks.
Down here at the bottom, what's the line item on that? What's the number?
Budget notes.
Yeah, it is probably for that 307, and we removed it, and I just didn't remove that.
That's what I was going to say. What is, the communication, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
It's where the phones inside the classrooms are now the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so,
We used to have to pay for them.
yeah.
They're within the whole.
Next page is the regular capital outlay.
So we typically budgeted $100,000 for engineering services, and we did not know if you all wanted that or no, or if we were going to be doing anything, so we took that out until you all told us what to do.
With the roofs, that we typically discuss, would it be coming out of that line?
So if the board decides to do the roofs this year, in this budget year, they are not budgeted for in here. So, I mean, it's a lengthy process to get all that done. It's just the will of the board, what you all want to do.
We decided to do the roofs on North and Swiss. Yeah, so we can just.
North has got a brand new.
Yeah, sorry. We do need that in the budget.
Okay, are y'all gonna pay for those outright, or are you gonna pursue a loan?
We've talked about for the last projects we've done, we've talked about, you know, we've been able to budget for and pay incrementally for some things out of the 141 budget. We have talked about getting a loan to do the capital projects that we have left to do. And the board's talked about that multiple times, and we were not sure if you all wanted to pursue that or if you all want to pay for it out of the fund balance.
See, that's one of the things that I have a problem making the decision, I'm not on the fund balance.
Yeah, I need to know how much money we've got so I know how much we
I
can
mean, on
take.
any given day, we'll have between $10 and $11 million in fund balance right now. But now, the thing about the fund balance, so the way we pay our staff, most people are 10 months working, we pay them at 12 months, but they're working 10. So every time, you know, like we have money in the budget to pay the extra months, right? So then in June, we run 3 payrolls. We run June's, we run July's, and we run August. So the fund balance builds up a little bit. It's a little bit inflated the further in the year you get because of that. And then when we get them for the 3 payrolls in June, it takes a little bit of a hit. So it's going to increase probably a pretty good amount by the time June gets here. And then when we run those 3 payrolls, it's going to go down.
About $4 or $5 million.
Well, not that much, but, you know, it's going to go down about $1 million probably, or a little bit, 1.5 maybe. But it's because we run 3 payrolls in June.
Okay, is there any way that you can give us a budget with estimated fund balance? I know that they're gonna be estimated.
I mean, the only way we can do that and give you a good idea of what the fund balance will be is for us to be able to estimate all of our expenditures from now to the end of the year. of every line.
Okay.
And we really, so if we spent every dime that was budgeted, we would be able to be, like we could maybe give you a good idea, but we don't spend, like we're gonna have money left in our budget too, that we're not gonna spend this year. So that's why it's so hard to predict, like for me to tell you right now, and I also don't wanna say, like I feel like we'll have $10 million, because then if we end up with 9.5, I feel like y'all are gonna, like people are gonna say, well, you said we were gonna have $10 million.
Now, if we end up with $1 million, I would have a question of that, but.
I mean, there's lots of talk out there about the fund balance and how, people don't feel like we're being honest about it. But again, the trustee, like you can call the trustee on any given day and he'll tell you the fund balance.
It just makes it hard for me to make a decision whether we need to do a loan or not if we don't have a clue of what we have.
Well, so if you look at the summary page, based on these expenditures right here, and this revenue for next year, if we spend the majority of these expenditures that we're budgeting for FY '27, and we take in the $18.5 million, then we'll break even. So we won't go in the fund balance. So now when you start adding things, you have to assume by adding it, you probably are going to go into the fund balance that much. So really that's kind of what, and obviously the fund balance is there to be able to do things when you need to do them or if emergencies come up. I mean, it's not supposed to be like, buried, like hidden under the mattress and never used or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, also the revenue, the county changed a little bit the way they do the revenue, the way the taxes we get a couple of years ago. And it hit us for a significant amount of actual revenue we get in. So that's also a difference that's happened in the last couple of years.
How much do you estimate that our funding is going down, especially with the voucher?
It's not going down. It's actually going up. Actually, the TISA allocation went up quite a bit. That's why if you'll look in that revenue line 46,510, so it went up a little bit last year and it went up again. So that's why that revenue line increased.
So even with the loss of kids that we've had and everything, we're actually going up?
The state sends us an estimate based on our current enrollment of what our TISA allotment will be next year.
And it's going up?
Yes, ma'am. So it can't, and there's a floor in the TISA law, if you research it. They put a floor in it when they did the voucher law. It can't drop below a certain amount. Now there's not a guarantee that it will continue to go up, but they put a floor in it, meaning they can't drop, like keep adding to the vouchers and drop the floor. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a safety catch in there. Now, people are saying, what's going to happen over time when they add to the vouchers, they're not going to add, like our expenses will keep going up, and potentially they won't keep adding to the TISA money, but right now they did. They did add to it this year.
Okay, but our enrollment numbers do not affect our funding at all?
The enrollment numbers do affect the funding.
Okay, so is our funding going down? Because
I can't predict what the enrollment will be next year. So based on our current enrollment.
Money this year with our enrollment numbers going down?
Actually, the way I understand it is there's a lot of different things that we're doing better about getting right, and they're paying us for those individual things. And due to that, we're getting more money. We still are losing some students, but I don't think we're losing them at the rate we were. It's a little bit better.
It's been a little better. Do you think it's leveling out some?
No, I wouldn't say that. Everybody all over the states.
Yeah, it's not just us, it's everybody.
Yeah. But I think we're doing a little better than I expected.
So on these roofs that we said, we want to fix these roofs, we want to fix these gutters, we want to fix the water line. Dr. Gurley gave us a list and we picked top 3 and I think we added a 4. Is there enough money in this budget to do that?
No.
No.
You have to budget it and know that when you do,
so in order to do those things that we asked to do,
you're going to go into the fund balance.
we're going into the fund balance.
Yes, ma'am. If you don't want to borrow the money, which borrowing the money is, we can do that. If the county commission will let us, we can do it.
And this is, so.
And then we would make a payment instead of huge chunks out of the fund balance. It's just,
It's just really hard to,
I know.
it's really hard to say, well, we need, I mean, these roofs have to be fixed. All this stuff it needs to be done. But it's hard to say, well, we don't, we're gonna have to make a decision whether we're gonna go on fund balance or whether we're going to do a loan, like she said. But I mean, how long will the loan be? How much would the loan be? I mean,
Well,
that's,
obviously, we would have to decide, you guys would have to decide what projects you want to do all at the same time, and you borrow that much money. And then based on that, it's just like, you get a loan for a house, you go to the bank, you ask for a loan. You have to get it approved by multiple people to be able to do it. So, it would be based on how much money you borrow. Now, the comptroller's office will tell you, don't borrow a big chunk of money to do projects over 5 years. Like you want to borrow as you go. So like if you're going to do this one project, you borrow the money to do that. And then go back and potentially if you want to do something else, go back and add to it in the year that you decide to do it so that you don't have money that you borrowed sitting somewhere waiting to be spent because that's not a smart way to do it. Honestly, the first thing that we would need to do, Dr. Gurley, is figure out how much the roofs are going to cost.
I know, I was asked because we've done roofs in the past.
Tracy and North has been.
How much was those together? Or separate? However.
I know the second one.
They're probably close to 3 million total.
Let me look.
But you're gonna have to tear down pre-existing roofs underneath roofs for this one. This will be a different kind of construction design. Because you're actually on top of Pelham, you've got 2 roofs, and on top of Swiss, you've got 2 roofs.
Would you think it would be safe to say that we're going to have to borrow $4 million or $5?
For the roofs?
Well, for the roofs, the gutters, the water line.
I don't think it'd be high.
Well, the Swiss has got the water line. Do we have an update on the water line?
I do not.
What would you guess, Dr. Gurley?
On what?
The roofs, the Swiss and Pelham, the gutter, the water line. Around what do you think it would cost?
It depends on if we can get the same contractor to do both jobs. We got a significant discount, when we did those 2 in tandem before. But, the problem with doing them in tandem, the roofing projects at North and Tracy were done while school was actually taking place. I don't know that they can take place at Pelham and Swiss if they're tearing down pre-existing structures underneath. And I don't know exactly what that looks like, and I don't know if they could I would hope they could get one done in a month. Pelham could probably be done quicker than Swiss. I don't know if they could get both of them done in the summer. You may want to start out small. I'd have to talk to the engineers again, but I think it would be worth bidding them out together.
So Tracy and North together was $1.2 million.
I think there's a couple heating air units that need to be removed.
Yeah.
Pelham also.
So, wait a minute. Do you think 2 million? 2.5 million? What would,
So you're talking about for the roof, for Swiss and Pelham's roofs,
gutter?
and the gutters, so that would be together, and then the water line at Swiss. 2.5, maybe.
3 to be safe.
3 probably be safe would be probably a good estimate. Because you also have to pay like the engineers and like that's also part of that expense.
Anything else about the budget? Now, when we get to the meeting about the budget, what do you all need from us as a board? The things that we won't change, we won't be approving a budget tonight at all. We're just suggestions of what we would like to look at. What do you need?
You wanted to add the maintenance supervisor, and then whatever you guys want to do about the $2,000.
All right, we will list those things at the meeting.
Then I wanted to Billy Moon a stipend for this year.
So that's for this year, that's not in this budget.
Madam Chairman, do you want a comparison of the 2 budgets before you put I mean, you can vote to add those things, but before you vote on any raise or anything else, does the board need a comparison in between what this budget looks like, not impacting the fund balance, versus what a new one would look like?
That would be fine.
So in other words, what we need to do as far as the budget is concerned tonight is to ask you to do that very thing for us and then have another meeting. What about it?
We need to make a motion, taking that to make supervisor add.
Well, I just think.
Yeah, you would make a motion to add that. You would make a motion.
To add the
So I have to do a
2,000.
budget.
You need to make a motion on the legal fees. So you got legal fees, number one, you need to make some type of motion on the maintenance supervisor position.
Whatever you want to do about this.
I don't know that they need to have, they just want to examine budgets. Do you want it as a bonus, or do you want it as a $2,000 pay raise?
I want to make that. I want to make my motion.
If we done, I need clarification. If we done $2,000 bonus, and then,
Start working on the budget for that
and then do a raise,
next year.
Exactly,
that's what I'm, yeah. Like the $2,000 bonus, and then work on the pay scale.
And would that make it easier on you if we said we were doing a $2,000 bonus this
So
year?
if you want to do a $2,000 bonus this year, I'll have to go into, we'll have to do a huge budget amendments everywhere. So I'm still gonna have to go in and add it to everybody's, so the payroll people are gonna have to go in and add it to everybody's salaries. And then, we'll have to then examine what it does to all the pay lines and do budget amendments to fix that, if we do it this year.
This is if we do pay raise.
No, if you do a bonus.
I think the pay raise would be easier because hopefully by taking and getting our pay scales up, then we can get more employees who do want to take and work for us.
Well, it could, in theory, be easier, but in order to get a balanced budget, because that type of increase is going to hit the fund balance.
Yes.
Okay, so in order to get a balanced budget back down to
And
zero,
it's gonna-
we will have to go back in and examine every department and see what further cuts we can cut, possibly positions. I don't know.
I think that we're gonna have to start investing in our employees, and I don't know how on earth we can even consider filling positions, especially right now, when we don't have enough staff to take and do half of the jobs.
What would be the easier remedy right now?
It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, it's not.
All right, if we do the bonus, they would get it, we could do it and they get it by June the 30th like this other money. If we add the raise, that it's gonna spread over the next year beginning September through June.
So the real difference is, if you do the bonus, that's gonna hit the fund balance one time.
Right.
If you do the raise, that, it's gonna continue to hit the fund balance. That's gonna be that's what you guys need to decide. That's the main, I mean, either one of them, and we'll get it done, whatever you want ask us to do.
I think that we can do both. We can do this one-time hit on the, right now, and then over the next couple of months, get those salary, those things done up, and then we can still get them
For
a
the next
$2,000 raise in the next budget, so they get $2,000 this year, and they would get $2,000 next year and the year after.
then
So we would be looking at
Your
giving them now,
expense,
helping them out right now, and helping them out in the future, instead of,
your expense would be in this current year's budget, so then I just wanna make sure everybody knows that we didn't budget for that. So when we come to the end of the year and the fund balance is hit, you all realize that, you
Then we're
know,
gonna be taking the hit again next year when we do the raise too.
yes, ma'am.
So,
I just want everybody, I just don't want anybody to forget that it's not.
Any other questions? We omitted food services.
Okay, so let me, when I just looked at this, it's me, I didn't put the this year's food service budget on here, and I'm so sorry. I just noticed. I have it in my computer, and Allison did a fantastic job of the food service budget, and this is not it, because this is the 25-26 one. I apologize. That's me.
Since we're making you make some change.
All right, we
We
will decide in the regular meeting, okay? I neglected to read this at the very beginning. I will do so now. It's talking about individuals who wish to speak before the board. Anybody that wishes to speak before the board, they need to come and identify themselves and then talk about the subject that they wish to, if it is on the agenda, has been on the agenda. If not, they would be allowed a couple of minutes. If their topic is not on the agenda at this time, then they need to request that it be put on the agenda for the next time. Is there anything else I need to add to that? Do we have anybody that signed a form to speak? Anybody else? Heather Seabold, is this?
You got a microphone?
We have a microphone for her.
Thank you.
First, I want to say that I apologize for leaving without finishing my notice, where I had already wrote my letter of resignation. But I was accused of reading the letter on my desk that I did not read. I've been with this school system for over 7 years, and I love each and everybody that I have worked with. But the job just kept getting harder and harder without the pay. Tracy City Elementary is next to the largest school in the district. There were 2 of us, me and Margie Kilgore was the ones that worked at Tracy City Elementary. We were supposed to have had a part-time person to work there too. And we give countless hours that we are not paid for to keep that school looking in the order that it looks. At certain times, Margie is called away to clean the PTAC units, the filters, in the whole district. And then she comes back to do her normal job. But we are only paid for, the hours that we're supposed to be there. If not, our time is adjusted. And then we've had Eric, her husband, to come and clean off the back dock because we knew that Bart couldn't be at all the places to do it all. So we all step up to do what needs to be done. We was promised a $1,500 raise to do the gym floors. We have researched it, and we know that these gym floors that are to be done, they was being contracted out for a $5,000 job. We was promised a $1,500 bonus in December of last year. Me and Margie's the only one that has our school done. The other schools are not done yet, besides this one that we trained on. And the job just keeps getting more and more. And there's not enough employees to do it. And I know me being here tonight will not help me at all. But the janitors, they work hard. But the hours are not consistent across the board either. We've got some that work 6 hours, 7 hours, and we worked 7 hours ourselves up until a month ago when we was told we had to work 8 hours a day.
All right, I'm sorry, ma'am, but your 2 minutes is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will take a 5-minute recess.